What's going on, football fans? Back again with another Truck Thoughts. Today earlier this morning I was reading an article from Steve Weiss, and if you haven't read it, you ought to check it out. It's on the Falcons website, obviously. And he was talking about, like, the focus of his article was Olamide Zaccheaus, and the fact that he had no targets on Sunday, but had some very impactful plays. And talking about, the selfless nature. And it's something that comes up quite a bit when you're talking about, some of these receivers, and it's not always about catching and stuff like that. I remember the topic being brought up in 2016 with Shanahan talking about, like, if you ain't going to block, or if you ain't ready to block, you can't be ready to catch the ball kind of thing. And so it's a mantra that's been around for a while. But what struck me is that it seems like the culture is definitely changing. And it seems like the mindset and the culture that Arthur Smith is trying to put in place is one that hasn't been here since Matt Ryan's early days, early 2008-ish, 2008, 2009. Definitely left the building, left Flowery Branch in 2011. And what I mean by that is physical play, a rugged mindset. Like, we had that, with the early days of Michael Turner and Harvey Dahl and John Abraham on the defense, and, even D'Angelo Hall. You had that grittier mindset that, after you got beat by Green Bay in the playoffs, shifted in what ended up being like an arms race, right? You went up to Green Bay and got smoked, and I think only scored, or Green Bay came in here and got smoked. I can't remember. My brain's blanking. Somebody in the comments will check me on that. But either way, you got smoked, and in 2011, you traded up for Jones. And not that Jones was a bad player or nothing, but that changed the mindset. That changed the mindset of this team from being a physical team to being a finesse team. And we were going to finesse the ball by throwing it 50 times a game and try to outscore you that way. And it worked, in 2012, and it worked again in 2016. But the problem is along with that, you lost some of that rugged nature. You lost some of that rugged mindset. You tried to bring it back with Dan Quinn and his fast and physical, Legion of Boom, all this other stuff, but he never could capture it. He got the fast part right, but we never did get the physical. I don't know if it was just the scheme or what it was, but we never could pull off the physical nature that he said he wanted to play with. And you're kind of starting to see it come to fruition now with Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith was with his old school modern take on football. Some of the, that condensed, like, almost we're going to play in a phone booth kind of situation that he had in Tennessee, he's trying to take here. We've been talking about, he needs a big body receiver to go across the middle. He also needs some guys, receiver-wise, who are going to block. That's something else that you miss when you don't have that top-flight receiver. Like, one of Julio Jones' strongest assets was his willingness to block in the run game. You don't have that right now. You're starting to get that with guys like Zaccheaus, who are getting those blocks in. But you don't have top-flight elite blocking from your receivers, and it's hurting the run game. So, in that aspect, that's one of the things that is changing the past few weeks, is that the blocking is getting better, and it's not just on the O-line. It's on the receivers, it's on the fullback. All of it's starting to gel better, which I think is why you're getting more consistency in the run game. Now, I think next year if they decide to get a more dynamic running back, that running game is going to look even better, obviously. You already have the nastiness. You already have the Harvey Dahl type nature starting to show up on the O-line with the Jalen Mayfield. Now, if he can just bring the play to balance out that nastiness, that would be great. I mean, our more successful runs are coming on the left side of the line. So, not just Mayfield, they're sprinkling in Dahlman in there because I believe that they feel like he's got, that toughness streak, that edge to him over Hennessy. He just may not be there yet with his technique. That's going to be a stout battle next year, Dahlman versus Hennessy. Now, McGarry has maybe the attitude, but he needs to get more consistent. What I'm getting at is, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if you start seeing even more roster turnover and roster churn next season and bringing guys in with a more rugged demeanor. That's something that I'm going to keep an eye on going into this draft season. Which announcement, whether it's by media pass or just in attendance, I'm going to be at the Senior Bowl this year in Mobile. Well, next year, this draft season. So if there's some guys that y'all really want me to look at, drop them names down in the comments. I'm getting started on compiling that list. First up on it is Hassan Haskins and David Adobo out of Michigan. Those two guys are on my radar right at this moment, but I'm just getting started. So if you got some guys that y'all are interested in, drop those names down in the comments, and we'll take a look at it. A little bit longer video today, so apologize about that. But hey, sometimes that's just what you're thinking about. So yeah, look for this mindset and this culture to continue to change, and look for Arthur Smith to continue to find guys who fit that more rugged, roughneck type mentality, which would be a nice change of pace here in the A. All right, man. Peace out.